My name is Boluwatife Segun-Oluwayomi. I am a professional copy editor, and I've earned the nickname Eagle Eye Copy Editor by my clients and colleagues because copy editing has been a passion since I was young, and it's something I do so naturally. It comes to me naturally.
Hi, I'm Obehi Segun-Oluwayomi, the author of the storytelling series for small businesses and content creators. In Obehi Podcast, we talk about the power of your story, your narrative, and why you should own your voice. Whether you are a small business owner, a content entrepreneur, or you simply want to build your influence, storytelling is probably going to be your best instrument to connect with your audience. So join the awakened few who are owning their voices. Now let's get started with today's episode.
It started for me as a hobby, but after that, I had to go professional about 2 years ago. But before then, I've been a copy editor for over 10 years. Copy editing for people just for the fun of it, just for the joy of it. It's a passion. But 2 years ago, I had to transition into professional copy editor. And it's been a beautiful experience because it's something I love to do. You know, there's one thing about you doing something you love and you doing something just for the fun of it. Just for doing it for survival or just to keep body and soul together, but or actually, as against actually doing something that you love to do. It's a different feeling, it's a different experience. So it's been wonderful. So that's what I am. Right now, I'm transitioning into book writing coaching. So I'm moving into that as a copy editor and a book writing coach at the moment now.
That's lovely. I love that. I love that. You know, I really find it as a joy to talk to people that love what they do. Because when you love
Yeah,
what you do, it doesn't appear to you anytime like you are working. It appears like you're having fun all the
exactly.
time.
Exactly. That is it for me. That is it for me. And then
That's
the
lovely.
icing on the cake is you having fun and getting paid for it. That's the icing on the cake. You wake up every morning and you are happy. You're happy to go to work, you're happy to go into your office because you know you're going to enjoy the day doing something you love to do, something you won't even feel like you're doing anything because you're having fun. And yet the paycheck is coming in.
That's great. That's great. All right, tell me. So, where were you born? What do you want to tell us about your young adolescent growing up? We're sort of interested in that. Anyway, I repeat again, we are in storytelling. Tell us about that.
Oh, well, uh, I'm the only girl in a family of five. I have four brothers.
You are very
And
lucky.
growing up for me, I'm very lucky, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm the only girl, but I didn't like it because at the time my mother was pregnant with our last born, I was really hoping that it's going to be a girl. I was really praying that it would be a girl. I was in school then in boarding house. I was in JS1, yes, in boarding house. And when I heard the news that mom had put to bed and it's a boy, I didn't want to go home. I felt betrayed. I felt disappointed. I felt like, Mom, this wasn't the plan. This wasn't the plan. It's supposed to be a girl. Why a boy? Growing up, I was so much of an introvert. I kept to myself a lot. Growing up, you won't even know that I'm around at home. I'm always in my room. But there's one thing that kept me going growing up. I was always reading novels. I enjoyed reading novels. Maybe that's where my passion for editing started from. I enjoy reading novels, and once I see any error, I can't move on until I correct it. I will lose all concentration. I will lose track of the message until I fix that error. It's either I fix it in my head, if I can't fix it directly, but if it's something I can fix directly, I fix it before I can move on. So I guess that's where it started from. So I was so much of an introvert growing up. I kept to myself a lot. I couldn't make friends easily. I hardly made friends. If I'm in a gathering, I found a way to leave the gathering and just find my way back home. And I was born into a clergy. My parents are clergy. My father is a pastor. My mother is a minister also. So we moved from one parish to another, one pastorium to another. And you know how pastoriums are, church members are always going and coming. That was a big burden for me. That was a bother to me. So I will always keep to myself in my room. My mom will come inside the room. What are you doing? Everybody's outside. What are you doing in your room? Come out and mix and play with other people. I'll be like, Mommy, just leave me here. I never love crowd. And my house is always swarming with people going and coming, friends, my brother's friends, everybody coming to see the pastor. Oh my goodness. It was tough growing up because of my nature. But as an adult, I had to call myself to a meeting. That girl, this introvert attitude, this introvert nature won't take you anywhere. Because if you want to be known for something, if you want people to know what you do and how you can help them, you have to step out of that nature, that introvert nature. Else, nobody would even care to listen to you or check out what you can offer them, your services. That was how I started trying to come out of my comfort zone. I started trying to mix with other people because if I have something, but I cannot share, I can't tell people what I do because I'm an introvert, I'm shy, I can't mix with people. That is hunger. That is hunger. I will go hungry because nobody will know what I'm doing. Nobody will care about me. So adulthood taught me, adulthood made me, you know how they say it in our place, adulthood is scam. Adulthood made me understand that being an introvert is not going to be, it's not going to be profitable for me. I started coming out of my shell gradually, gradually. I started off with that. Fortunately, I started off as an online entrepreneur years ago, but with an online store, Jumia. That was where I started my online journey from. Yes, with Jumia. So I had to post products on my Facebook. I had to post it. I had to post, I have to write stories on the products so that I can get customers that will place their orders through me. Gradually, I started coming out, and I had a whole lot of people patronizing me as a sales consultant for Jumia. That was where my online journey started from, my online entrepreneurship started from until I now came back to become my own boss and be in what I love to do, my passion, which is copy editing, which I've been doing since then. So, well, that's how it's been. That's
That's good.
about it.
I love that. I love that. Now, how do you feel be your own boss? Tell me something about that. That is interesting for me.
I've always loved to work for myself, right from when I was in school. I've always had that dream that I don't want to work for anybody. But when I got married, I got married really early. Yeah. So when I got married, I had this situation, as a newly wedded woman, when the baby starts to come, and if you didn't start working before you got married, to start working after the babies are coming will become really, really tedious and, you know, so it was tedious for me. It was really a struggle because I was fresh from NYSC. And that's why anyone who cares to listen today, I tell them, don't jump into marriage without having something doing. Don't jump into marriage without having something doing. Ensure that you have an income, you are engaged, you have something doing before you go into marriage. Love can wait. Love can wait. That was the mistake I made. Of course, I'm enjoying my marriage. Of course, thank God that I married the right person for me. But I did it very early. But thankfully, I was able to come back on track. I was able to come back on track. Yes, the children started coming immediately, and I couldn't pursue any career. I had to stay at home and take care of my children. So that was the starting point for me. I had to stay at home, and then it started getting frustrating when you have to be dependent on your husband. There's nothing coming in. That was when I had to move out and see what I can do for myself. Because I hated, right from when I was younger, I hated being dependent. I hated being a liability to anybody. I love to be my own boss, to be, to answer to myself, to be able to, I need something, enter my account and pick whatever I need and settle myself without having to look up to anybody. So when it was looking that way already, that I have to depend on my husband for everything, like everything. No, it was a turning point for me. No, I have to do something about it. Fortunately, I love surfing online. I love just going online and surf because I had nothing doing except taking care of children. To keep myself busy, I was always online. That's why I stumbled on Jumia online consultant job. This was remote. And that's kicked off my, like I said, my online business. So I was able to stay on my own, take care of my children while still earning. And it's been a beautiful experience for me. It's a beautiful thing when you can raise your children by yourself, watch your children grow, especially in this era. Watch your children grow by yourself, and yet you are still making money. You're not dependent on anybody. It's a wonderful experience for me. So that's how it has been. I never liked being dependent, and God has really helped me in that aspect. I make my own money. I work for myself. When I try to work for somebody else, early in my marriage, then I took up a teaching job. I don't think I spent up to 2 months. I had to leave because that wasn't me. I wasn't getting fulfillment until I got back. And I've done a lot of things aside from, like I said, online business, junior consultant job was the first for me, but I still went on to start another business. I established a business called Tife Foods, where I produced healthy snacks, healthy chin, healthy plantain chips, and all of that stuff. I also had another side business again called Boluwatife, where I use Ankara materials to make slippers, bags, hairdressers, earrings, and lots of things. In fact, if you go to Instagram, you still see my accounts there. Even though I've abandoned them because of my copy editing career. So you still see my accounts on Instagram. You see all I've been doing on the 2 accounts, both Wild by Tife for the Ankara business and then the Tife Foods for the chin, because I never want to be broke as a woman. I never want to have to ask anyone to take care of myself. I want to, be on my own and be able to take care and be the helpmate I should be to my husband. That is what the Bible says we should be. Not every time money, asking for everything you need. So I had to live up to that and be a helpmate in the family, not a liability. So that's
Thank you
it.
so much for that. That's really interesting. I believe that all the women out there that are listening to you, they are getting the message. It is important. It said that this hand washes this one, the other one washes it. That is how it get clean. No,
Exactly. That's
we
how it
don't need to
should be.
look.
Yes.
We don't need to look to one side. Okay, I'm not saying that the men should not struggle to provide for their family, but okay, if the women are also doing something, then it makes the job easier, even on the man.
It makes
No,
it easier. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So that is important. Thank you for putting that out.
Thank you.
All right, now looking at your work, which is copy editing, copywriting, I'm sort of curious because here we are really heavy on story, really heavy on story. So, how
Yes.
do you use story in what you do as copy editor or copywriter?
Well, storytelling is the in thing now. Storytelling is a tool that everybody everybody that has a business online needs to hone that skill. And as a copy editor, I've actually also delved into storytelling because I've also transitioned into book writing coaching for people who want to turn their expertise, who want to turn the solution they have, the value they carry into a short, impactful book. And they cannot do that without honing the skill of storytelling. I tell people that you need to learn how to tell stories in your book to have a book that is impactful, a book that is intriguing, that catches attention. You have to know how to present it with storytelling, how to write it with storytelling. And I coined a name for that. I call it edutainment. Your content, your message, your educational content must be entertaining at the same time. That is the world we live in right now. That is the era. It's an era of storytelling. So when I want to do the copy editing for people, I advise them when they're writing their books, make sure that it's engaging. Make sure you infuse stories into your book. And as a copy editor also, that is, I'm always sharing value. I'm always sharing content on LinkedIn. I ensure that I present my message to my audience with storytelling. I ensure that it is engaging, it is entertaining. It's not just PhD kind of a thing. That is not the world we live in today. People get bored easily. It was before that you want to share and educate content, you go PhD on people. If you go PhD on them, they will leave. Because the attention span today is very, very small, just like 2 seconds. If they don't say anything that catches the attention, if you cannot hook them, that's why you need to hone that skill of delivering your educative content with a story, with storytelling. Okay, for example, as a copy editor, I want to teach people the importance of punctuation, for example, the importance of punctuation, and then I craft a narrative around it. I create a scenario, and a written interview scenario, and I build a character around that, into that setting. I'll be the character of someone going for an interview that is written. And then I tell them, okay, he has been asked to write what he loves to do, what he loves doing. That is my character. You're taking your audience through the hero's journey. So I tell them, you have been told to write, about what he loves. Remember that the educational goal is the importance of punctuation in your sentences as a copy editor. That is my goal. That's the first thing you need to do. You have to set your goal, the educational goal, so that whatever you are writing at the end of the day will cause that transformation that you want to, will be able to deliver the message you want to deliver to your audience. So back to my story. I create a character. The character has to write about what he loves after the whole other stuff they need to know about him. And then the next thing is, okay, tell us what you love to do. And then you are writing, I love cooking, family, and dog. No punctuation. What does that indicate? I love cooking, family, and dog, just like that. It indicates that you love cooking, your family, and dog. It can give that meaning because there's no comma, there's no punctuation. But instead, you should write it this way. I love cooking, comma, family, comma, and dog. That makes your audience understand exactly what you are trying to say. You have shown them how to read what you have written with the punctuation, with the commas you have put there. Now they understand the message you're trying to pass across. Now I have put my content, my educative content, in an engaging manner with stories. So my audience can see themselves in that my character. That, oh, that can be me, that could be me. So I should be very careful when I'm writing. That is one way. That's what we are saying. Because stories hook. Stories makes people, get engaged. You engage their mind, you pick their curiosity. You get them into the story. It is relatable. You create a context, not just dishing out facts and figures. People don't want to read facts and figures now. Like they say, facts tell, but stories sell. There's the stories that you can tell that will sell your service, not the fact that you can tell. No more facts and figures today all over the place. You have to be able to craft your educative content with stories. Storytelling has gone beyond just bedtime stories now. It is now something you use to sell what you do. It doesn't matter what industry you are in. You need to learn and hone the art of storytelling.
I think you say you coined something in the line of educatement, something like that.
Edutainment, education, educative and entertaining. It is educative and entertaining into one word, edutainment. So your content has to be edutaining. It means you're delivering your educative content in an entertaining way. That's my own coined words now for it.
That's interesting. So I would like you to talk more about that. What do you make storytelling entertaining? Help me understand that and how you use it in your work.
Stories, they make you, human brains are wired to love stories. We love stories. We love hearing or listening or telling stories. We love it naturally. When we hear a story, our brains releases, these chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin that, it makes us feel good. It enhances our ability to recall details. And that's what stories do. Stories make your information stick. It makes the message you are passing across to your audience, it makes it stick. They remember it easily because you have captured their attention, you have engaged their minds, you have piqued their curiosity, you have evoked emotion. They see themselves in the story you are telling. Like I said, you have to keep your educational goal in mind when you are crafting your narrative around your message. So you don't just push out all the message like that. You don't just give all the information like that. You have to create a scenario. You have to make it, because stories are relatable. You have to make your content relatable. Because by the time when you make it relatable, it becomes personal, not just, it becomes something that your audience can connect with. The character in your content, the situation in your content, like, okay, I mentioned hero's journey. I don't know if you caught that. I mentioned hero's journey. In every book that we read, there's a hero. There's a hero that is facing a challenge, that is facing, that wants to achieve a goal, that is facing a crisis. And then at the end of the day, there's a climax and there's a resolution. So when you create a character around your message, if you create a character around your narrative, then you now take that character through all these phases. And as you're taking the character through all these phases, you are also automatically taking your audience that are reading your content. They see themselves in that character. So it's easy for your message to stick. It's easy for them to remember because they see themselves in the character you used. From the goal, the challenge, the conflict, the resolution, which causes transformation. That's why I'm always advocating that don't just push out your educational content. Infuse some story into it. Infuse a real life scenario, real life situation. Because good stories give context. The context you're going to create is something that is relatable, something that is real life. Okay? And it helps retention also. You engage your audience, they can retain the message you have passed across because you have engaged their minds.
Yeah, because when you are talking of story, you are talking of human experiences. So there is no surprise that people like and love to hear story because you know
Exactly.
I have a son that is 5 going to 6 now. I remember
Okay.
that many occasions my son has told me, "Hey, Daddy, tell me story, particularly in the evening." And
Yes.
this is a strange thing. It's not important whether I've told this story a number of times. In fact, there is a story he likes a lot. No, it's a story of the tortoise and the and the rabbit.
Imagine.
I make this story even as a form of cartoon, and I love it a lot. But each time, if I tell, he want me to
He was
tell that
never
story.
tired of listening to it. He will never be tired of listening to it.
You see, so that is really something fascinating because that is a way our brain is wired for story.
Yes, we just love to hear stories.
Yeah.
We just love to hear stories.
Mhm.
It has moved from just bedtime to, for example, okay, I didn't mention this. Right now, I work with an organization, and that organization, a hybrid job anyway, I just go once in a week. So what we do there is that we create subjects, different, the subjects in school is an academy, online academy. So all the maths, English, and all of those subjects, we create animations. We animate them. You know, imagine mathematics in an animation form, and there's a story around it. You're trying to teach your students maybe quadratic equation, and you're building a character around it. It's fun. When I go to the office, my job there is to edit. My job there is to edit the conversation, the dialogue, and to make sure that it's being delivered with no errors, no, it's impeccable and all of that. So by the time I'm going through the mathematics, now one point I need to mention is that I hated mathematics in school. I never loved it. Now, but since I started working in that organization, I saw this new way of teaching maths. And I fall in love with mathematics. You know, as I'm going through the content and I'm editing, I'm enjoying it. You know, I go to the office, I'm watching a video, animation. My job there is to check out the tenses, the English, to make sure that they are delivering the dialogue and, with no errors, the grammar, all of that stuff. And I'm loving mathematics already because I could understand. I got the message. I understood what they're teaching. So I told my colleagues that I wish this was, we had this back then. Maybe I would have loved mathematics today. That is the power of storytelling. This power of storytelling, it evokes emotion. You know, it's interesting. It speaks curiosity. You enjoy listening. You won't even know that you won't know that you're being, you're actually going through a learning process because you are enjoying it at the same time. So by the time you are done with the content, or when you go through, you have both learned and then you have also been entertained at the same time. That's why storytelling is powerful in delivering content, educative content today.
Now, has it ever occurred to you, or maybe somebody telling you that they don't know the kind of story to tell in their business?
That is where creativity comes in. Like I said, it doesn't matter what industry you belong to. There is a story. Stories, they are your secret weapon for making learning enjoyable and not forgettable. You just have to own the skill. But storytelling, there are so many courses out there on storytelling. Such people, they need to go an extra mile. Since that is the in thing today, that is what works today. Stories are the ones that sell today. So if they are stuck and they don't know how to tell their business stories, they don't know how to tell their brand stories, they might need to go for, they need to check out storytelling courses, might need to enroll for, private coaching with people who are into this, into storytelling, and who can train them, who can coach them into telling their brand stories. They just have to go an extra mile.
I'm sort of wondering, just you were talking about moving from copy editing to books. And I think that is really interesting. Do you want to talk more about your program, your training program, how you do it, and how people can
Yes.
benefit from that?
Yes, in my journey as a copy editor in my career, I just it's been a really wonderful experience, and I've really, evolved. And one day I just sat down and I felt, how can I give back? How can I help people more beyond just editing their copies? How about those who have things to share, those who need to, those who have much more to share, but they don't know how to. They don't know how to go about. Why don't I go into book writing coaching also? Because especially on LinkedIn, it's amazing when you come to LinkedIn, you see so much value being posted every day. In fact, you might even develop constipation, getting value upon value in different fields from different people in different industries, different niches. So that idea just dropped one day. Why don't you encourage people to turn their posts, their LinkedIn posts, into a short, impactful book? It doesn't have to be voluminous. Who reads voluminous books today, these days? No. A short, impactful book with all their knowledge, with all they have been posting on LinkedIn. Yes, I'm going to go to other platforms, but I'm focusing on where my influence is right now, which is LinkedIn. I'm encouraging professionals. The project is called Post to Book Project that I came up with. And the first edition is starting this October. We're starting with the training in September. On Monday, we're starting with the free training. We're training people on self-editing and storytelling, just to ensure that by the time they start writing their post to book, they are infusing both the knowledge they have gained in the self-editing training and the storytelling training. Because the idea is to ensure that the book you're writing is both educative and entertaining. And that's where that word comes up again, edutaining. So that's the idea that I came up with, and people have really responded to the training, and we're starting the training on Monday. This is the first edition, and I'm looking forward to making a continuous thing where I encourage professionals to write a book as a marketing tool. Because where you cannot get to, your book will go there before you and speak for you and tell about what you can do, your expertise, the value you carry. And all you need to do is just to bridge the gap between the information you have given in your book and the execution, because that's how people are. No matter how much information you give people, they will still need you to execute that information for them. So there's no need holding back. Put everything you know in a book. Let it go ahead of you. Let it enter places you cannot even get to. They will reach you to execute that information for them. So we are using book as a marketing tool, encouraging people to put their expertise in a book to market themselves.
All right, that's lovely. Now, what would you say is the best strategy to use story in content or in business in general? Okay, now, of course, let's limit it to content because that is your main area. What is the best way to use story? Yeah.
The best way is to ensure that you start with a hook. The hook will get your audience, you grab their attention. So get them interested in what you have to say. Start with a hook. Your hook could be maybe a title, something like a quote. It could be a quote. It could be an intriguing statement that you have made, something that will catch their attention. So that's the first thing you need to do. Start with a hook. Once you have gotten their attention, make sure you hold that attention. And how do you hold the attention? Build a narrative around that your educative content. Build a narrative around it. I've said this before, and I'm saying it again. Once you start with that hook, which could be a compelling question, it could be an intriguing statement, or even a relatable scenario, something people can relate to and say, oh, yes, I can relate with this. I can resonate with this. Start with that to get their attention first. And once I've gotten their attention, let it be around your goal, around what you're about to tell them, but something that they can relate with, real life story, real life scenario. Start with that hook. Once you have gotten that attention, you hold it. Hold their attention by building the narrative around that educational content. Like I gave a scenario of my own career, my own profession now, my copy editing, the scenario I painted, something like that. And then create a compelling narrative. And then you go on to use visuals also. Use visuals. Visuals are compelling. They attract people's attention. They are scroll stopping. They are very important. They are scroll stopping. Your visuals will catch their attention. Maybe it could be infographic, could be images, could be illustrations, could be props, anything at all. So that holds their attention also, and it speaks a curiosity. It creates a multisensory experience that deepens the impact of your narrative. So once you can do that, then it also encourage interaction. Ask questions. Let them relate it to their own experience. Ask them questions, engage them, make them participate in what you are in your message. And then keep it simple. at a time. Don't give them too much information. Keep it simple, keep it relatable, keep it easy to understand. With that, you'll be able to catch your audience attention and be able to relay your message in a very entertaining and engaging way. Yeah. And one more thing I've not mentioned. Okay, emotions also evoke their emotion. Because learners connect deeply with the content. If you can help them, if you can share personal anecdotes or some real life stories that can relate to the educational topic you are talking about. If you can humanize that content, make it more relatable. Let them feel emotionally connected to your story, to your goal. So they will remember and they will apply what they have taught them. They apply to their own lives too. So it's so easy. It's just a matter of being intentional about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So briefly, share with people, how can they connect with you? Those who want to work with you.
Okay, my LinkedIn profile is Boluwatife Segun-Oluwayomi. Just search the name, and you can also send me an email to tifeshegun@gmail.com. My email is available. My DM is wide open. I have thrown the key away, so you can enter my DM at any time. It's wide open. No keys. The doors are wide open. My email is Tife Segun. Anytime, I'm available.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, what will be your final thought here to conclude the conversation?
I want people to open up their minds and don't be close-minded. Open up your mind to the trend. This is what is happening today. This is where we are today. Storytelling. So don't shut your mind against it. Don't say it's not relatable to my business, to my industry. If you need to get to find help, to seek help, to be able to position yourself and tell your brand stories in a very professional way that will also entertain your audience, please go ahead and do that. I'll repeat again, facts tell, but stories sell. It is the stories that will sell. The emotions you put into your business, how relatable it is, that is what will sell your services. So don't be closed-minded. That is where we are. 2023 is about story selling. If you go anywhere, turn anywhere online now, it is stories, 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 stories. That is where we are today. So be open-minded towards it. Try and hone that skill. Seek for help if you need to. And watch how your career game changes for good.
That's so interesting. That's so valuable. A story says, actually, is what you used to be able to connect with people. Because how are you going to be able to say if you do not connect to the people? Because if you are just sort of selling data and throwing information out there without coordinating in a way to connect with the people, it's not going to work.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.